Money, 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 hey, in a rich man's world. I know you're probably thinking, hey, nurses in Australia, they are swimming in money. Come closer, let's talk about it. How much do nurses in Australia actually make? I have gotten this question so many times as someone who claimed to have left the UK to Australia for more money. This video is going to come as a shock to some of you, but we're going to get into it because, of course, this channel we talk about reality. So let's talk about how much nurses actually make here in Australia. And do you think it is worth moving from the UK to Australia because of this pay I'm going to be telling you about? But hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. It's Dale here and I am your captain. If you're seeing this beautiful face for the first time, thank you so much for joining. Okay, I am a registered nurse who has moved from the UK to Australia, and on this channel I share my bits and bobs about life in Australia, nursing and travels. So if this looks like something you love, let's get started. I have my phone here with me because the only mathematics I know is travel mathematics. Okay. Okay, so let's get our facts right. Nursing pay here in Australia varies from state to state. Okay, it is not a standard amount to say all Australian nurses earn 5,000. All Australian, no. So here in Australia we have 6 states and 2 territories. So we are going to be talking about how much nurses earn in each of these states. So that is going to help you moving to Australia very soon, so you know exactly where to go, especially if you're in for the money. Okay, so you're going to calculate with me. I have my phone here and I'm going to be doing justice to these numbers. Okay, are you ready? You ready for me? Okay, which state should we start with? I'm not going to start with the highest or the least. I want you to watch all so you can tell me which is the highest. Okay, but let's start from one of my favorite states, one of the states I almost went to, but I'll tell you why I didn't go to that state. Okay, so let's start with Victoria. If you don't know, Victoria is an amazing state here in Australia, and the capital of Victoria is Melbourne. So if you heard Melbourne, yeah, it's a city, but the state is Victoria. I also like to state that salaries here in Australia goes up every year. It's also like band and level based, just like the UK where we have the band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4. I don't think there's band 1, but anyway, band up till band 9A, B, C and all that. Here in Australia, every state has their level. So you might see a state saying RN1, RN2, you will see a state saying grade 1, year 1, grade 1, grade 2, okay, like that. So let's start. For Victoria, drum rolls. So EN, which is enrolled nurses year 1.1, start with a weekly salary of 1,145.90 Australian dollar per week. Please realize that this is the base salary. It goes up if you do 9 shifts, weekend shifts, PM shifts. Okay, this is just like, for example, AM shift Monday to Friday. That's how they put it up. So that's how much EN year 1 ends. If you can see the chart, EN level 1 year 2, after 1 year the salary now goes up to 1,169.40. so it's just a little bit of cent from the previous year, but then it is like you are just going to get a salary increase every year regardless of if you apply for a higher role or not. Every year it goes up until year 6. Okay, so that's where it stops. Then you need to now apply for a higher role, but this is like the base salary for ENs in Victoria. So for RN, when you come out of school newly qualified, they call you a graduate nurse. So grad year for RN or RM, so nurses or midwife, they earn same for the first year. So you'll be getting 1,298.60 Australian dollar per week. That is like how much you'll be getting in Victoria. And if you go down with me till the highest, an RN grade 2, we earn That is when they get to year 8. Like I said, it goes up every year. So from year 1 to year 8, you will be earning 1,834.20 per week. So this is how much nurses would earn. That is base level nurses. Now, if you move up, like you apply for a more specialist role, which in Victoria they call them clinical nurse specialist or clinical nurse midwife, for your year 1 you'll be earning 1,908.70 Australian dollar per week. And if you move up the band, after that you become an associate nurse manager. After being a clinical specialist nurse or clinical educator, you'll be earning about 2,000 per week as an assistant manager. And there's just a lot of levels here, but I'll go up to a nurse practitioner. So if you are a nurse practitioner in Victoria, in a week you'll be getting 2,546.50 cents per week. Okay, and that's for your year 1. That's like base salary, and it goes up as you get more experience under your belt. And if you become a director of nursing, blah blah blah, you know, the matrons in Victoria, you get 3,168.90 Australian dollar per week. So yeah, there are still a lot of grades here, but I think this will give you an idea on how much nurses in Victoria. And let me know if you work in Victoria or you've got a job in Victoria. Let me know. I also like to state a disclaimer that this is for the public sector nurses. The private sector nurses in every state pay differs as well. You might get it higher than public, you might get it lower, so please bear that in mind. Let's move to the next state. Which state should I do next? Let's do New South Wales. And if you don't know, I am in New South Wales. Okay, so let's tackle my state. Anyways, I would like to also state that New South Wales nurses are currently asking for a 15% pay rise. Can you beat that? Oh, did I forget to mention that Victorian nurses are currently having strike? I think I saw on TikTok where they are on strike now. So fingers crossed the pay for Victoria goes up, because I think they are the least paid in Australia at the moment. Are they? I don't know, Tasmania might be lower. We'll find out, don't worry. But yeah, New South Wales, fingers crossed by the end of next month we'll find out if we are getting a pay rise, 15% or nothing. So yes, New South Wales Health, I don't think they have for EN. So if you are a first year RN in New South Wales, you're going to be getting 1,342.50 Australian dollar per week. Okay, and you climb up every year. You don't have to apply for promotion or anything. It just automatically goes every year up to year 8, where you'll be getting 1,884.90 per week. Okay, and thereafter you can now apply for CN. You don't have to wait till year 8. Please don't get me wrong, you don't have to wait to year 8 to move up to the next clinical role. Okay, I've already done a video on how to move up the band. I'll put the video in the description box so you can use that video as a guide, but you don't have to wait to year 8. I've seen some people move up 2 years after. Okay, so yes, clinical nurse specialist or clinical nurse midwife, they earn anything from 1,961.50 per week up to 2,176.30 per week. Okay, and now in New South Wales we have what we call the nurse consultants. So the nurse consultants, they earn anything from 2,357.90 to 2,646.90 per week. Okay, and I'll go over to the nurse practitioner or midwife practitioner. So you already know who nurse practitioners are if you've watched that my previous career progression videos. I won't be going into details with that, but nurse practitioners earn anything from 2,598.60 up until 2,782.40 per week. That's how much nurse practitioner earn. And if you become a nurse unit manager, you earn anything from 2,364.80 up until 2,543.40 per week. I don't think that's bad though. Considering this is just base pay, so think about when you do evening shift, night shift. Anyway, sometimes nurse managers don't always get 9 shifts. We have like out of hours manager, but anyway, just know that these are base rate salaries. Okay, so that's the unit manager. So when it comes to manager, we have, so bear in mind that we have unit manager and we have manager. Okay, so when you go up and you are a nurse manager, you earn anything from 2,357.90 up until 3,801.90 Australian dollar per week. Chineke. Okay, so that is it for New South Wales. Are you surprised? New South Wales is also among the least paid nurses in Australia, so please put that in mind. Except we finally get a 15% pay rise, and then we can be at par with other nurses. Okay, which other state should I do? Drum roll, drum roll. Please guys, at this moment, like this video. Okay, it's not easy to come on camera and tell people how much I'm being paid. Hey, it's not easy. It didn't easy. If it's easy, everybody will do it. So please like this video and share the video to your nursing gangs that are coming to Australia, so that they know, so that they will not have culture shock. Let's see what. Let's do Queensland. Queensland is one of my favorite states. I almost went to Queensland, but you'll not understand. Anyway, Queensland nurses are one of the highest paid nurses in Australia. One of them, but I'll show you which one is the highest. But yeah, Queensland, they are. So Queensland nurses earn anything from, I'm going to just keep the nursing assistant. I'll start from the enrolled nurses. Enrolled nurses per fortnight, that's every 2 weeks, they get 2,730.40 per 2 weeks. Okay, and I'll just go up until registered nurses. So every 2 weeks, registered nurses here in Queensland, they earn 3,030.30 per 2 weeks. Okay, so if you divide that by 2 so that we can get per weekly, since we've been doing it weekly, you know, every state is different. So since we'll be doing it weekly, it will be like 1,515 Australian dollar per week for entry level RN. Okay, so you can see it goes up until 4,068 per 2 weeks. That's like 2,000. Okay, and that is for registered nurses. So if you go up the band and you become a clinical nurse specialist or midwife, clinical midwife, you start your pay from 4,138.10 up until 4,431.10 per 2 weeks. So if you divide that by 2, it's up to like 2,200 per week, which is good. If you become an associate, like associate clinical consultant, you know, you get from 4,651.40. Okay, if you decide to become a clinical nurse consultant in Queensland, you will start earning anything from 5,000 up until 5,500 per fortnight. Okay, and if you become a nurse practitioner in Queensland, you'll be earning 5,721 up until 5,973 per fortnight. So divide that by 2, you get a weekly pay. Okay, if you become a director of nursing in remote or rural area, you earn up until 6,259. And if you decide to become an executive director of nursing in Queensland, you earn 9,576 per fortnight. So divide that by 2, which is like 4,250 per week. Per year is like 249. That's huge. Anyway, that is it for Queensland. What do you think about nursing salary in Queensland? I think it's good, but it's not the highest. I will come to the highest. Let's go to let's go to Western Australia. The capital of Western Australia is Perth. Okay, salaries ranges for RN level 1.1. They start their nurses with, so here in Western Australia, the one I was able to get is just per year. Just try to figure out that. Okay, so per year they pay their nurses 75,957 up until 105,000 per year. Okay, that's full-time nurses. Okay, working 38 hours per week. If you are a senior registered nurse, that's how they put it here in their payment scale. From level 1 you get 117,000 up until 177,000 per year. Okay, that is for registered nurses and senior registered nurses. I couldn't find anything for nurse practitioners. I couldn't find more things. I don't know why. Their level is quite different. So like I said, every state is different. So let's go over to Southern Australia. The capital for Southern Australia is Adelaide. So with Adelaide, their enrolled nurses start with 2,472.90 per fortnight up until 2,785 per fortnight. However, their registered nurses from level 1, they start with a payment of 2,785.40 per fortnight up until 3,800 per fortnight. If you become a clinical nurse in South Australia, your salary is going to start from 3,253.80 up until level 9. The ninth increment will be 4,112.90 per fortnight. So divided by 2, you get weekly pay. If you become an associate nurse unit manager, you start with 3,847 up until 4,112. And if you become the director of nursing, you will start at 5,362.40 up until 7,861.30 per fortnight. Okay, if you are a nurse practitioner in South Australia, you start with a salary of 4,919.40 up until 5,128.10 as a nurse practitioner or midwife practitioner in South Australia. Let's talk about the territories. Now we have 2 territories. The first one I would like to talk about is the Northern Territory. The capital for Northern Territory is called Darwin. Okay, so the Northern Territory starts their nurses, like their enrolled nurses, with a base salary as at 2024, because every year it goes up. They already have the one they will pay you next year. These people, they are very fast, so they already have 2025 salary. But 2024 as at now is 69,281 per annum for enrolled nurses. And if you are a registered nurse, you would start at 78,316 per annum. Okay, and it goes up to 104,660 per annum. Okay, they also have another grade of nurses, which is the registered nurse 3. I honestly do not know how they grade their nurses there, but nurse 3 will start at 107 up until 116,000 per annum. And then they have nurse 4, it's very weird, which will start at 120 up until 130 per annum. They have nurse 5 starting at 132 up until 139,000 per annum. Okay, now their nurse practitioners or midwife practitioners will start at 145,000 up until 152,000 Australian dollar per annum. Then they have their nurse 7, which will be 163 up until 170,000 per annum. They have nurse 8 earning 175,000 up until 183,000. This is a lot. I don't know their rating, but I think maybe that will be their managers and all that. But yes, that is it for the Northern Territory. Now, the last but not the least, ACT, Australian Capital Territory. Australian Capital Territory has been named the highest paying state for nurses. Let's find out how much they actually pay. The capital of ACT is Canberra. So if you're hearing Canberra is in ACT. Okay, enrolled nurses start with 65,000 and they go up until 70,000 per annum. Their registered nurses RN1 starts at 72,698 up until 97,000 per year, and their RN level 2 start at 100,000 goes up until 107,000. Their level 3 nurses will start at 115,000 up until 120,000 per year. Their level 3 grade 2 they have up until that, and their nurse practitioners start with 140,000 per year in ACT. And I'll just keep all these other grades and I'll tell you that the highest amount nurses earn in ACT is 197,000 per annum, which is the registered nurse level 5 grade 6. But yes guys, I've talked about all the states in Australia and how much they pay their nurses. It was very detailed, I hope, but bear in mind that these are all base rate salary, and in real sense, if you're a shift nurse, you don't earn that amount. You earn more because they take into consideration other amounts, like you get loads of incentive. Like for New South Wales, you get 12.5% if you work afternoon shifts. If you work evening shifts, you get more. Like the percentage is a lot. Like on weekends, some people get like double of whatever they earn. But yes guys, this is a detailed video of how much nurses earn in Australia. Let me know your thoughts. Are you disappointed by the amount? Do you think this is a fair wage? Do you think it's worth moving from the UK to Australia? Most people already know how much nurses in UK earn as well, but let me know what you think about this pay review I have just done. I think that it is fair because this is the public sector, and however you get more if you do bank. Like this is just like full-time employee. If you do bank, it's going to be higher than this. If you do agency, it's going to be higher than this. Then the best is if you do travel nursing. Those travel nurses contracted, they blow my mind. If you also want a video on highest paying agencies, because I've seen some and the pay is really good. If you also want a video on the highest paying agency for travel nurses here in Australia, let me know in the comment section, because you know I bring the tea when it comes to money. Okay, so let me know and I'll be happy to do that video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video. It helps me grow, and also share with your nurse gang, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.